and you were placed into this challenge. So I want to go into when you started actually documenting things. Like, how did that start for first timers? You guys are kind of like, let's just pick up a camera and start traveling. How did that
Well,
go?
well, luckily, so we're first time filmmakers, but my job, my day to day, I am a commercial photographer
Okay.
and videographer. So that's what I do every single day. I make commercials and short form videos for companies for marketing and advertising. So like I have a background in video production. That's kind of what we felt the pull and the draw, the fact that, we've got all this equipment, we've got all this knowledge and know-how. So we have the means to do it. We have the story, we have the background, like, our family has gone through this. Like, we're the perfect people to do this. And so, now I say that I have a history, my background is in short form video. I'd never taken on a project of this magnitude, a hour and a half long feature film. But we just kind of, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. So we just kind of chipped away at it, and we kind of went into it. We originally, the scope of the film in our minds was much smaller in the beginning than it turned out to be. We thought, maybe we'll find some families local that have gone through something similar. We'll talk to a couple of doctors here and there that are in our network of people that we know. And we actually had difficulty even finding doctors and people like that in our area to talk to. And so Whitney, before we started our group, Whitney was in a couple of other die-free groups, and she just kind of started looking into things. There's a lady named Dr. Rebecca Bevins who has a really popular like TEDx talk that she did, I don't know, 11 years ago at this point. I can't remember exactly when it was, but Whitney reached out to her, and she's a psychologist, but she's also had the story with her son and his sensitivity to dyes, and so I thought she would be perfect in a documentary. And she had no idea who we were, but she agreed to be in the film. And then we found an article about a lady, an NBC article, and her story, like, this would be perfect for our film. And Whitney kind of stalked her on Facebook and tracked her down, and now we've become really good friends with her and actually with everybody in our film. And luckily Rebecca, because she'd been in that world with the TEDx talk, and she talked to a lot of these people and worked with Center for Science and the Public Interest. She introduced us to Lisa Leffert, who she's just a consultant with the Center for CSPI, but she used to be a scientist at CSPI, and she kind of connected all the rest of the dots for us. She helped us get in touch with Dr. Stevenson in London, the researcher who's responsible for the warning label in the EU, and then she also helped connected us to Dr. Joel Nigg, and then Thomas at Center for Science and Public Interest. So it was just kind of this series of events of people, like I said before, God opening doors and one person introducing us to the next person. And then, like I said, two of the Rebecca and Emily, those were two of the moms. And then that kind of led to the two other moms connecting. And then in our group, one of the moms found us in our group and reached out to us, and her story was great for the film. So.
Yeah. And these are literally like the world's leading synthetic dye experts. Like, they're top notch A team. It's so funny that we started with kind of the B team, and they said no, they wouldn't even email us back. And then all of a sudden the stars aligned, and we had Rebecca. With Rebecca, I sent her a message on Instagram. I found her email. I did all the things, and I was so persistent. And finally she ended up giving me a call, and we talked for like 2 hours. But we really feel like everyone that is in our documentary was really meant to be in our documentary. And it's crazy how it all came about. And stories like that are woven throughout our entire story, with funding and just the assistance that people have given us along the way, because people know that we are literally just two people that created a documentary. I did the marketing piece, and directed the questions and the interviews, and then Brandon literally, he edited, he shot it, he composed the music, he created the graphics. Like, we had to tackle it in that way because we didn't have the funds to pay anybody to help us, and so it's been wild.
Oh, I'm sure it's a massive endeavor to create. And then you have this personal attachment, of course, that's really, pushing you forward.